This is the all-new Apple MacBook Neo, and it might be one of the most surprising laptops that Apple has released in years because this thing is a $600 MacBook. Yep, you've heard that right. In fact, it's even cheaper if you use a student's discount. So look at this as the Chromebook of MacBooks, since, it obviously runs Mac OS here, and Apple actually made it super affordable. Now, with that, of course, you have to wonder, is this Apple's cheapest laptop because they cut too many corners? Or is this baby actually worth buying? I've been using this thing for well over a week and I'm pretty much ready to tell you. So let's go ahead and cover design and build quality, display, performance, ports, and maybe some of its limitations, battery life, and most importantly, who would actually buy the MacBook Neo here? Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, who is the MacBook Neo for? Now, I think it's a pretty straightforward answer. It's for those looking for a basic MacBook, so, your everyday users, your students, schools or specialized education institutions, some small businesses, or offices also could make good use of this. You pretty much get my drift here. This is as entry level of a MacBook as you can get. Even more entry level than the MacBook Air, which used to hold that title. Now let's go ahead and talk design here. And you might be thinking that, at $600 or $500 for those of you using the student discount, Apple may have cheaped out on this laptop, but actually they did not. This thing doesn't feel cheap at all. And I'm happy to see that Apple still kept that, high quality that they're known for. We have a unibody full aluminum chassis here with a very thin and, light design here. It is super light. You see me whipping around with one hand, right? It is, if you didn't know the price already, you probably wouldn't be able to guess just how affordable this laptop is, just based off of that build. Like truly, you could never guess that this thing is more affordable than the MacBook Air. Anyways, they topped this off with all of the fun colors. You could get this in citrus, which is the very popular green color that you may have seen in, ads and other commercials. You have the silver, you have the blush, which is kind of a pink. It leans more towards the pink. Let's just call it's the pink one, right? And you have this indigo that I have here, which is more of a navy blue, maybe mixed with a little bit of purple, but I'm just gonna call it closer to a navy blue than anything. So pretty neat stuff. All of this just to say that they're pretty well built. You get that premium feel that Apple is known for their build quality, and you also get the premium Apple experience or the premium MacBook experience here, despite, the specs on this guy here. And speaking of specs, of course, let's go ahead and talk performance. As I mentioned already, it's great build quality, but the only thing that separates it apart from the others is pretty much the processor, right? The Neo here is loaded with an A18 Pro chip, unlike the other MacBook that are all loaded with the M's, right? Like from the M family chips, right? So M3, M4s, and all of that good stuff. So here you have a chip that was found on the phone, right? It's the same chip that you find on the iPhone 16 series. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a terrible thing, okay? I don't want some of you to start panicking and thinking that because it's running a chip similar to that found on the previous gen iPhone, that it's a bad product. You have to remember that modern chips are incredibly powerful and they do wonders for day-to-day tasks, which is what this laptop is essentially built for. Performance has been solid, for something in this price range. Don't necessarily expect the world from it, right? For additional specs here, we have 8 gigs of RAM that you cannot expand, and this is, I guess, my initial gripe with this laptop here. Now, if you are not a power user, this should not be an issue. But even then, though, I still find it too limiting, especially if you are the type of everyday users who opens a bunch of things and forget to close the old ones before opening even new ones, right? So you might find it limiting too. But again, web browsing, writing documents, all of that good stuff, or just general use is pretty good. You should be good here. I went for the $599 here, which is pretty much the 256 gigs of internal storage with no Touch ID. This thing does not have Touch ID. However, if you were to pick up the next config, which is the $699 model, that one comes loaded with 512 gigs of storage along with Touch ID included. So Touch ID is included in that one. Now, with all this said, I just want to reiterate here that this is for everyday tasks, pretty much. This laptop is great for web browsing, emails, Word documents, even streaming videos, would be good here. The MacBook Neo here performs absolutely fine in those situations. Now, once you start doing heavier tasks, the laptop will start struggling. I've been able to do some light editing here without any issues, light photo editing, and when you start pushing it towards heavy video editing, yeah, this thing starts struggling. In video, even when editing in videos, you really have to adjust the settings, right? To lower down the settings in order for you to be patient enough not to throw this thing against the wall. And the same goes for gaming too. As you would imagine, light to moderate gaming is fine here, but you have to remember that this is not a gaming laptop. Again, just to put it in simple terms, if you're doing just regular everyday stuff, you'll be fine. But if you're gonna need a ton of power, then this laptop here is not for you. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to display here. We have a 13-inch liquid retina display on this bad boy here with 500 nits of brightness, along with 2408 by 1506 in terms of the resolution here. So, not too bad here. And by the way, the refresh rate here is 60 hertz, right? So none of the fancy promotion, but 60 hertz in terms of the refresh rate. And I think, it's fine for everyday users, especially given this price point. Plus, Apple generally tends to calibrate their, devices pretty well. They tend to do so well enough for you not to even notice it or make it an issue. The trackpad here and keyboard are excellent. Personally, I like Apple keyboards and haptic trackpads in general, right? This one uses a physical clicking trackpad, but I still do like it. It feels very close to the premium experience, so no issues for me. It's large, it's responsive, and still one of the best laptop trackpads you can get. The keyboard also feels familiar with, color matched keys, as you can see here. And by the way, the keyboard that you see here is not backlit, in case you were wondering. Now, we have a limited amount of ports here with only one supporting video out. We have two USB Type-C here. One is a USB 2 and the other is a USB 3.0. There is a headphone jack, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So if you are someone who uses multiple monitors or lots of accessories, this might feel limited, right? So keep that in mind. The speakers are side mounted here with a pretty decent sound. Nothing particularly amazing, but that is expected. You also get a 1080p FaceTime camera here, and it works pretty well for video calls. I don't have too much to say about that. Now let's go ahead and close with battery life. Apple claims up to 16 hours of battery life, and from my experience so far, I didn't hit that mark, but they could be right because battery is pretty decent here. I was actually surprised to see that. But again, as I always say, battery life is always going to be subjective depending on the type of user that you are. If you're a light user, power user, the type of stuff that you use. So you may get more, you may get less. It depends on how you are going to use your laptop. The only thing really that you need to know is that you can easily get a full day of use here without any issues. But heavy tasks would definitely reduce that. Now, with all of this said, here's my take. After using the MacBook Neo here for 2 weeks now, I would definitely recommend it to the group of people, that this is targeted at. Those looking for a basic MacBook that won't break the bank, first-time Mac users, some students, depending on your field of study, obviously, some offices, and all of that good stuff. It's definitely a great laptop for those people, but it's also important to notice that it is pretty bare, right? It's fairly limited in terms of power. So if you're a power user, or if you're looking for something that is going to provide as much power as possible, this may not be it. So these are things to keep in mind. But if you're just looking for something for casual use, this laptop might be the one to pick up. Anyways, I'm certainly hoping that this was informative. Let me know what any questions you may have. Are you currently considering picking up this laptop here? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know what color, or do you own this one here? Let me know what you think so far. Let me know what any other questions you may have or any comments you would like for me to respond to. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. By the way, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Share the video also if you know anyone who will be interested, and like the video, of course. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video like I always do. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.